Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. Yesterday, I didn't even realize it, you guys, but yesterday was Groundhog's Day. And the funniest thing happened because we had kind of a quiet weekend around here, just doing chores or whatever. And it felt like the weekend went by super fast. And so yesterday, I had said to Jason, thank you, Jason. My hair is stuck on my chin. Thank you. Yesterday, I said to Jason, gosh, it feels like we didn't have a weekend. It feels like Groundhog's Day. And it was. So that was weird. That was really weird, that I didn't even realize. Is it me, or was Groundhog's Day a bigger deal when we were kids? When we were kids, it seemed like, Groundhog's Day was some kind of big deal. I can remember, every Groundhog's Day before I realized the mainstream media was pushing propaganda. I was just a kid watching, the morning show, Today show before I had to leave for school. And what was his name? Now I'm blanking on his name. You guys all know his name. The weather guy, the bald guy that was on the Today show. Oh gosh, it's going to come to me during the break. I'll look it up. But anyway, no, not Al Roker. Al Roker was later. It was the tall white dude. Gosh, I don't know. I will look it up though. And everybody's probably screaming at the screen right now. Every Gen Xer is like, it's this guy, it's this guy. But he always made a big deal about Groundhog's Day. And so I don't know, I guess it felt like, and I feel like they did something at school too with Groundhog's Day. I don't know. We recognized it though. And now that we're older, Groundhog Days is every day, apparently. Or anyway, we don't even recognize it. It's no big deal. I let Groundhog's Day pass without even a mention of it. Subconsciously. That's what it was, you guys. It was subconscious. I subconsciously knew it was Groundhog's Day yesterday. And that's why I said to Jason, it feels like Groundhog's Day. Because subconsciously, I was picking up on the groundhog vibes. But anyways, I got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. First on my list is how I believe that we became kind of a mafia nation. How did this happen? How did this happen? I'm sorry. I just took my vitamins before I came on the show. And now I'm feeling like I've got to cough or something. Anyway, I want to talk about this mafia nation. It was, this is what inspired me on this one. I was on X yesterday, and there was a post done by Mike Benz. And so I brought some clips for you today, because I want to break it down piece by piece. So let's go to the first one.
To accumulate people who owe you favors. That way, when you go out on your own in the outside, you are placed on lucrative board seats. You get funding from the foundations and philanthropies. You get startup capital. You get a huge sinecure, not for your government work, but for the moment you go private after your government work. Because people owe you IOUs from your time in government. This is how the State Department gets captured. This is how the CIA and Department of War and USAID and these things get captured, because the incentive goes from being about doing what's best for the country to doing what's best for outside privateers who then owe you favors, IOUs, so that you yourself, when you leave that government post, are able to get those board seats, book deals, stock options, consulting agreements, VC capital, you name it.
Okay, so you know how I say a lot of things are pay to play, and I have kind of discovered that throughout the years here, just doing in my little ecosystem, right? Hosting people at health events, booking people on the show, just like getting out there and kind of networking. I have discovered that a lot of people get where they are because they've paid to play, so to speak. It's networking, but like, it's not just plain old networking. You know what I mean? So I guess what I discovered as I was listening to this Mike Benz clip, because it's quite a long clip, was that Epstein was a broker. You know, he was a broker of deals. And I think there was a lot of reasons why he was a broker of deals. He wasn't necessarily a smart guy from many people's accounts. He wasn't impressive from what I hear. You know, people are like, well, he wasn't really that impressive. I don't know how this guy got to be so powerful. I think he was a master of brokering deals between people. And I think how he got a lot of those deals done involved extortion. It is the formula that we've read about, the formula that we've been told about that exists, where these higher, higher up type of people, these I hate saying that. I don't even know how to describe them. These elitists, these billionaire type people, powerful positions for one reason or another, as we're about to find out. This is how we got away from a merit-based society in our country. This is one of the ways we got away from merit-based society, is allowing this stuff to happen. Let's go to part 2 here. So I should set this up a little bit better. I'm sorry, I was choking practically before a minute ago. So this is the former secretary of or Ehud Barak. It is an Israeli politician and a former military leader who served as Prime Minister of Israel and Minister of Defense from 2007 to 2013. And he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein post-politics. Like, what are you going to do now? You've been in government so long. What are you going to do now? You guys, this is the formula. This is what they do. They're brokering deals while they're in the position of power and politics, where they can, push forth regulation for outside interests. You owe me a favor. You owe me a favor. You owe me a favor. And then it's the revolving door, right, that we've seen, especially in health. So we've seen a revolving door of congressmen, politicians, senators, what have you, go straight into private sector positions at like Pfizer. Or some of these, like Rochelle Walensky, she was, she went right into a pharmaceutical company. That's because these people have done deeds to earn little bonuses with the private sector. Oh, it's just here's another part of that clip. I think we have a few minutes still before we go to break. Here's another part of that clip so you can understand the full scheme here. Take a listen.
Yeah, okay. And so you got to work it backwards and say, here is my, instead of thinking about what the opportunities are first, because right now you're focused on opportunities. Yeah. I need you to focus on your personal balance sheet in terms of competences. What's your real strengths? What's the liability? One of the liabilities is you're 71 years old, so you can't be in a business. It takes 20 years to make money. Yeah. You have to make money in the next 3 years. So, people, competence, things. So, I talked to Ian yesterday. I asked him to come. Yeah. He flew in from London. He's great for an hour.
What was his impression from the?
So same thing. Because he's very connected to Samsung. Very. Samsung. Korean, Samsung. Yes, yeah. Very. Yeah. They pay him $3 million a year.
Just to make PR?
Yes. He has 10 companies like that now. Oh. Okay? So he said there's this company called Lookout. He said he mentioned it to you. Mm-hmm. Lookout. Yeah. He thinks they'll pay you a couple $1 million to be on the board.
Yeah. That would be good.
I understood.
A couple $1 million to be on their board. What kind of favors are happening to get a position like that? We just have this powerful person who used to be in charge of the Israeli military on our board, right? You get on a couple boards and you start raking in the millions and millions of dollars. These people do not serve you. Okay. And this is just an example. I know this is an Israeli person of power, but this is an example of how it works. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, right? But hey, maybe we can get people to get this deal done if we put a little pressure on them. If we put a little pressure on them, we can put you in this high paid position. And, you'll be able to grease the wheels for people. The point is, they're not serving you. when I've said, like, just look at it through Tony Soprano's eyes, if you look at everything through gangster type of mindset, it starts to make so much more sense. Everything does. You're like, oh, well, you ran for politics because you wanted to serve the people? No. They ran for politics because they want to secure their position of power and make a lot of money. And this is a pathway forward to do it. Stay tuned. I'll figure out who the weatherman was. Happy belated Groundhog's Day. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Share it with somebody. If you know someone that's looking for real solutions for health, if you know someone who's tired of the medical model, if you know someone that knows the same things kind of you and I do and needs to not feel crazy in this crazy world, then you need to share the show with them. And you can on YouTube. Believe it or not, we are on there. I know, not with a very big presence, that's for sure, but we are there. So we would appreciate you following us on YouTube, sharing it, comment, liking it, subscribe, smash that subscribe button. You can find us at Naturally Inspired Radio on that platform. It was Willard Scott, you guys. Willard Scott. Man, I can't believe I can't remember that guy. Do you remember he used to dress up in the crazy costumes? He was known for his folksy kind of country appeal. So anyway, Willard Scott left an impression on me when it came to Groundhog's Day. I'm sure you probably can remember that as well. Okay, let's get back to this because I really want to flesh this idea out. So here's this conversation by a high-power Israeli and Jeffrey Epstein, who, by the way, sounds like a gangster. Can we agree on that? I mean, he just sounds like a gangster, the way he talks. And I think that's what's going on here. He was a broker. He got a lot of deals done. He was a go-to person, I think probably a bit of a fixer for some people, and that continued to escalate him in high places. Once you have dirt on somebody, you can use that dirt endlessly, especially the nature of this dirt, like blah, yuck, right? I mean, it's extreme. But I think that we have to understand that this is how we got here. Now, there's another component too, which nobody really likes to talk about, and that is the evil nature and, the harnessing of power that I've been mentioning lately, that these type of people who subscribe to these cult-like groups, there's that variable in there too. So, they're sucking up all the power and they're bringing more people into it with the lure of fame, fortune, power. Everyone's going to love you. Just do this, this, and this. And even the smartest people get caught up in this. I mean, that's clear. A little bit more from Mike Benz's clip there here that he's sharing. This video, this audio comes from the Epstein files that have just been released as well. So listen to this final clip here.
About $250,000 a year. Suddenly it goes to $3 million because you got a friend named Jeffrey Epstein who can get people to back you. And part of that involves compiling that list of people who owe you IOUs, so they'll give you lots of money on the outside.
Yep. He thinks they'll pay you a couple $1 million to be on the board.
Yeah. That would be good.
It's like an agent, if you think about it, in the music industry, who negotiates on your behalf with the label, who negotiates on your behalf with the platforms. Most artists are only good at the music side of being a musician. They don't have necessarily the confidence, the Rolodex, the skill set, the network built up over decades to ask that on their own or to arrange it. So Epstein serves as a one-stop shop broker, especially around the money, with high-level intelligence and government officials.
I understood. He thought there was two cyber companies. Look out, and even though I know Peter, I've never met Peter Thiel, and everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks under drugs.
However, he has a company called Palantir. Pallen.
I guess he doesn't know how to spell very well. That's not how you spell Palantir. But no, this is interesting because when you think about it, what Epstein is doing here has multiple benefits for him. If he's able to place people, broker deals, and have his little guy in at higher corporations sitting on the board, that gives him power. That gives him power towards, decisions that he may or may not need. So it gives him power in that way. It also, who knows what he's doing to get the person placed on the board. So, a company like Samsung doesn't want to just give away $3 million for a board member. So it's interesting to think about what kind of pressure he's applying to get these corporations to accept these key people, his little person, in to these corporations. And later in the video, he talks about how other people in this guy's situation of power coming out of government, right? 71 years old, coming out of government into the private sector. You got 3 years to make some money. This is how you do it. He talks about this other guy who's doing it, the Ian guy or whatever. He's got 10 of these. He says he's got 10 of these now. So he's sitting on multiple corporations' board, earning $3 million a pop for sitting on the board. I guarantee you those board members aren't making decisions based on what best serves the public, what best serves the employees. There are government issues, obviously, that feed right into these huge corporations. It's a power move. It's a power move. And this is just one example of, I think, how this works like top down. I think it works like this in insurance companies. I think it works like this in government. I think we have this model that is completely saturated with corruption. That's how we got Minnesota. That's how we are now discovering California. Like, oh, we put these people in here, we can funnel a little money there, we're skimming off the top, and then we're getting this taxpayer money or whatever. It's fraud every which way from Sunday. It's fraud. But this is a pattern. And people saw how it worked, and they were desperate to be a part of it. Yesterday, I came down pretty hard on Dr. Peter Attia. And lo and behold, he came out with a statement today. I put up a little meme that I thought was kind of funny. Marked myself safe from not having to, make an Epstein apology today, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous, but also marked safe from never taking advice from egomaniac Epstein worshiper. He's got to get him some Jeffrey Epstein, gross, Dr. Peter Attia. So the reason why this guy never really sat well with me was because of his arrogance, really, and then his quick dismissal of the body's innate ability to heal. This guy continues to push pharmaceuticals, and he poo-poos things like vitamins and whatnot. So he's never sat with me, but also he has an enormous ego. He just has an enormous ego. So anyway, he posted, he made a post about the stuff that's been discovered about him. The following email, he says, is what I sent my team last night. Let's pull it up. I think I gave a screenshot, and that's part of it, so you can see for yourself, but I'll read it. The following email is what I sent to my team last night. I sent a similar version to my patients also. You've put your trust, your credibility, and your hard work into what we have built together, and I take that responsibility seriously. You deserve a complete and honest account of what did and did not happen. I apologize that I did not get this out sooner. Because he had so many other important things to do. This is crafted by a lawyer, big time, right? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure everybody on the Epstein list has been sweating bullets for a long time, right? So yeah, just had more, apologized, didn't get this out any sooner, but I want to be thorough. I wanted to see what was going to get released. Well, I'll just translate for you. I wanted to see what they had. The purpose of the DOJ releasing these documents is clear: to identify individuals who participated in criminal activity, enabled it, or witnessed it. I am not in any of those categories, and there is no evidence to the contrary. To be clear, I was not involved in any criminal activity. My interactions with Epstein had nothing to do with his sexual abuse or exploitation of anyone. Okay. Some pretty weird language there in terms of his emails and whatnot. But okay. I was not involved in any criminal activity. Very to the point, right? My lawyer told me to make this clear. My interactions with Epstein had nothing to do with his sexual abuse or exploitation of anyone. I was never on his plane, never on his island, and never present at any sex parties. That said, I apologize and regret putting myself in a position where emails, some of them embarrassing, tasteless. Oh, you think? And indefensible, are now public, and that is on me. I accept that reality and the humiliation that comes with it. I don't think so. I think you're mad you got caught, right? I don't think you're actually embarrassed of your emails because you weren't really until everybody read them. That's what I think. He goes on to create excuses for himself in every which way. And his explanation for the fresh batch, just fascinating. I'll tell you what it is when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. Welcome to Tuesday.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
You can try our favorite cellular reset today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. What is cellular reset, you ask? That's that polyphenols I'm always talking about. The powerful, actually, hello, I got me some right here. The powerful polyphenols for inflammation, of course. So try today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions at all, just text me, 720-303-8868. Some wonderful benefits also of being a part of the Naturally Inspired community. So Tuesday nights are our weekly wellness workshop. That'd be tonight. Last week we talked about recipes. We do a new topic every week, but it helps you, gives support to the community for you to be able to stay on your optimum health journey. A lot of people, accountability is a thing and support is a thing when it comes to being on an optimum health journey. So we provide that here at Naturally Inspired. So one way you can get right into the community and join us tonight on the weekly wellness workshop is by making a purchase. And you will receive the Zoom link to join us tonight. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today. Okay, so the statement here from Dr. Peter Attia gets even stranger. Okay, so he says that in 2015. So I told you yesterday, I think that Peter Attia attended Stanford. And, Jeffrey Epstein funneled money into these higher institutions, again, for his little racket, not little, this big racket he had going. It appears to me like he had pull in so many different places because he was paying to play places. And higher education is one of those places, right? If we can manipulate science, we can manipulate the products that get sold through the pharmaceutical model that gets distributed to all of us low-level poor slobs. I mean, that's how I feel that these arrogant, cocky, criminal, pay-to-play, meritless people, that's how they look at us. Like we don't matter, this is good for them. We're going to do something totally different, right? But this is good for them. This will be good for them. People will take these weight loss drugs. This is good for them, right? That's my impression kind of these types of people that are, in Peter Attia's case, it appeared to me that he was awestruck by Jeffrey Epstein's money and power. Oh, whoa, wow. So impressed by these high society people that are so smart. You failed the IQ test there, Peter. You were out hawking the COVID vaccines to everybody. Fail. Not so smart. Not so smart at all, in my opinion. But anyway, he tries to explain this. This is the weirdest explanation. He says that that really weird email, that one that says, got a fresh shipment from Jeffrey S. Epstein, like, yikes. He explains it. He says the email contained a photograph of bottles of metformin. The diabetes medication, metformin, a medication I just received from the pharmacy for my own use. The subject line referred to the picture of the bottles of the medication. He replied with words, "Me too," and attached a photograph of an adult woman. I responded with crude, tasteless banter. Reading that exchange now is very embarrassing, and I will not defend it. I don't know about you, but I don't really have any colleagues that would send me naked pictures of people, because we kind of teach people how to treat us. We teach people how to treat us within a few interactions with somebody. They know what they can say and not say in front of you, right? Nobody swears in front of grandma, right? Nobody likes to swear in front of somebody else's grandma because that's rude, right? You don't do that. There's some social grace here. So clearly Peter and Jeffrey Epstein had a very intimate friendship where Jeffrey Epstein thought it was totally fine to share, lewd photos with him. Yet Peter Attia defends his relationship as though it was based on business and funding for research or something. This is, you can't have it both ways, really, It doesn't really add up. You either had a business relationship with him and it was no personal stuff, never went to his island, never went on here, never did this, never did that. But we did happen to share naked pictures together. What? Okay. Yeah. And again, I don't think it's about being, he wasn't embarrassed at the time, but he's embarrassed now that he's caught. So yeah, the reason why I'm picking on this guy is because we have a lot of problems in the health system already. There's a lot of mistrust now, given everything that has happened through COVID and whatnot. We don't seem to have a merit-based system anymore when it comes to health. And we have health influencers that wield a lot of power. And I saw a funny social media post today. Some young guy was headed out for some, intense exercise because he was a Dr. Peter Attia follower of his podcast. Hopefully he wasn't taking metformin for health, but that's the type of advice that Peter would give, right? Let that be a lesson to us that, blood sugar matters, because even these elitist people, they're trying to control their blood sugar. They're trying to control their metabolism, their blood sugar, the way their body converts food into energy, because that's metabolic health. And we know that's the key. We know that's the key. And even these guys know that's the key. That's why they were taking micro doses of metformin to try to improve their metabolic health. You don't need to poison yourself with pharmaceuticals to improve your metabolic health. Thank you, Jesus. You can actually just eat real food, okay? And we talk about that on here all the time. But anyway, there's a lot of holes in his story here because, like I said, I don't know about you, but I don't have any friends that, I would send some naked pictures to so we could have a little, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or whatever. I don't know what that is. Something else was going on here, clearly. And this is a cover up. And there's no lack of ego in this either. There's no lack of ego in this. Like I said, these people are so cocky. And probably nothing will happen to this guy. But let it be a lesson to everybody, This kid I was telling you about, who was going out for a run or whatever on social media, he made a joke out of it and said, I'm supposed to do this much work today. I'm supposed to run this and do this because Dr. Peter Attia. And then he showed the emails and said, well, I guess I don't have to do that anymore. I'm going to tell you once again, there are no experts. There are no experts. Dr. Peter Attia was thrust into the limelight through paying to play and kissing a lot of butt in the right circles, and chasing clout, wanting to feel important, and, going out in the public eye, getting the opportunity to go out in the public eye, because he pitched things like weight loss drugs and metformin and a lot of other things that he put under the heading of like biohacking, and that's what I mean when I say right now we're living in a meritless world, and we have to use real discernment, because nobody is more qualified to make decisions about your body than you. And when we outsource our decisions about our health, because we only do it because we think we don't know. We think we're not qualified enough. We think we need something outside ourselves to heal. And that's a lie. The only thing that heals is the body. The only thing that heals is the body, and the body heals when the conditions are set for healing. And that doesn't mean never use any pharmaceuticals, right? I'm not saying that. But perfectly healthy people, it's a risk to take some of these pharmaceuticals. Like just a quick list here of side effects of something like metformin. Okay, so yeah, it's great to control your blood sugar. It's great to, use it therapeutically and whatnot. I'm not saying that, but people take it because they have to. These people are taking it recreationally to improve their results this much. And then it catches on as a trend. Oh, I want to try metformin. Who else was it that was taking it? I think it was like a couple of influencers, like maybe David Sinclair, who's in the biotech world. And there was another person too that I heard on a podcast that was taking it that surprised me, because, here are some side effects: nausea, diarrhea, stomach cramps, gas, bloating, loss of appetite, metallic taste in your mouth, sometimes can lead to fatigue and weakness, headache, dizziness, leads to low blood sugar. It's supposed to do that, but it also leads to vitamin B12 deficiency. And that's a big one that people miss, because B12 deficiency, that tingling, the tingling and numbness in hands and feet, brain fog, anemia, fatigue, right? Fatigue's a big one because that really affects quality of life. These, best practices also should be, if you're using metformin, make sure you get your B12 levels checked regularly, because this medication depletes you of that. And then a lot of this tingling, numbness, brain fog, fatigue, your doctor doesn't tell you how to fix that. And you're just left with all these side effects that you don't even really realize are side effects. Anyway, what a joke. Pay to play. It's a mafia, everybody. Cutting deals, networking for themselves. That's how we got riddled in corruption. Stay tuned for your naturally inspired moment. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Work with me for better health. You can book an appointment at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Book your free health assessment today. Get on your optimum health journey. One other thing I read about Jeffrey Epstein before we move on to our naturally inspired moment that I found interesting was one of his companies won the lottery. I found that very interesting because, like, who was in charge of a lottery that would have been extorted to get that ticket that was a winner for Jeffrey Epstein? And, like, can you imagine? Like, he had people everywhere. He was a broker of deals, and he used whatever force necessary to get those deals done. And it's just fascinating to me how many people were sucked into that. You know, I don't think Peter Attia stopped talking to Jeffrey Epstein after he sent him lewd photos. By the way, Peter Attia is married. There's some excerpts from his book that are just give you a better idea of who this guy was as well. Very driven, so driven that his child, his baby, was in his own words, dying in a hospital. And his wife begged him to go. And he said that he had very important work. And he didn't go. And it turns out that he was, according to the dates on the emails, it looks like he was meeting with Jeffrey Epstein during that time. So, like, I don't know, these people think different. Comes from Stanford too. I think they, like I said, I think yesterday, like the education system's a sorting process from elementary school. As soon as kids enter, they start sorting. They get in the talented and gifted programs, and then they get funneled into these higher institutions. And Lord knows what type of conditioning happens in those programs when people are hand selected for these specialized programs. So who really knows who these people are? But then they end up in our, sphere in the public eye and get propped up as an influencer, and people think they got there organically. Like, oh, they just became super popular because of merit. And I'm telling you, that's very, very rare. I'm not saying that it never happens. I think we have some people that have made, an impression on the public and become popular because of merit. There are definitely people like that, but very few. A lot of these people, I don't know, what would you call them? An incel? They're an agent, man. They're an agent. All right. So for today's naturally inspired moment, I want to talk about what to do when you've gotten off track. I know. Can you imagine getting off track? Nobody gets off track, do they? Of course we do, obviously. Everybody gets off track. So hear me now. If you're off track right now, it's okay. Time to get back on track, though. Okay? Those stories you're telling yourself, it's time to push those to the side. Okay? And get back on track now. You're burning daylight. It's time to go. I've been talking to a few people lately that feel stuck. And, they're coming to me, they're coming to the Naturally Inspired community in hopes that they're going to find some inspiration to get unstuck. And I think that's great. This is a great place for inspiration. This is a great place to plug in for accountability. But what else, what else can you do to get unstuck? Okay, 5 ways to get back on track when you feel stuck. Number 1, shrink the target. Okay, I like to think big. So I think sometimes I scare y'all because I'm like, well, what about this? What about this? Conquer the world, right? You don't have to think that big. I think that big because that's what gets me going, But it depends on your personality, right? So you can shrink the target. Feeling stuck usually means the goal's too far to reach. It's too big, feels like it's never going to happen. So it can be overwhelming. But transformation doesn't require a huge breakthrough, a huge goal. It just requires the next thing. What's the next step? Small actions restore momentum, and momentum restores belief. So let's say, I used to be really active. I used to play tennis. I used to do yoga. I used to do this, and I don't know what happened. I just kind of got off track. Okay, time to get back on track. Time to get back on track. So today, get on the portal that you carry around everywhere you are, and look up where you can play tennis. Look up where you can get back into a yoga community. Book it. Book it. Guess what? You're back on track. That's how easy it is. Take one action, okay? And don't worry about what's going to happen at the class. Don't worry about what happens after the class. Don't worry about if you're ever going to be able to, do this or do that with it. No. One step at a time. Pick up the portal. That's the phone. Book the class. Transformation right there. Number 2, return to structure, not emotion. Okay. Waiting to feel motivated keeps people stuck. Because guess what? Motivation comes and motivation goes, because we are emotional beings. And it doesn't take much to change our emotions. A little bit of information here, a news story there, a couple of those things added all together. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Boom, you got a whole different mood going. Yeah, welcome to being human, right? That's the way it is. So we have to return to structure. We cannot operate in emotion. This is why the woke culture doesn't work. Woke culture doesn't work because it ain't got no structure. It's not built in truth. It's not built in biology. It's not built on facts. It's all wishy-washy. You've got to have some structure. You've got to have some structures. That way, when your emotions go over here, someone cuts you off, you get mad, or you get deflated, blah, blah, blah. Oh, return to my structure. This is what I have planned today. This is what I'm doing. Right? So return to structure. Waiting to feel motivated keeps people stuck. Structure creates freedom. Decide what you'll do regardless of how you feel. I'm doing this. I don't care if I'm nervous. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm ticked off. I don't care. This is structure. This is the time I've allotted for this. I'm doing this regardless of how I feel, because that's how transformation happens. Number 3, interrupt the story you're telling yourself. I'm too old. I'm too old to do that. I used to do that, I don't really know. I just kind of got off track and now I'm too old. No, you're not. No, you're not. Nope. That's not true. That is not true. I missed my chance. Nope. I should be further along. You're right where you're supposed to be. These are stories. They aren't facts, and they're stories that evoke emotions, and those emotions keep us from taking action. So they're not helping. So let's not do them. The moment you change your story, your behavior changes with it, right? You've never missed your chance. Create a new chance. Create a new chance. You're never too old, okay? Because transformation is ongoing. If you're living, you've got to be working towards transformation, right? Now, some people are way further ahead in the transformation process, right? They've been, riding that wave, trying to get better. But there's people ahead of them, and there's people behind them. Like, it doesn't matter. Life, as long as you're living, is transformation. Because it's growth. Because if you're not growing, if you're not transforming, you're sliding backwards. And then you start to feel stuck. You're stuck. See how that works? So very, very important. What are the stories you're telling yourself? There's plenty of time. I'm right where I should be. Borrow belief until yours catches up. Look for evidence of people who transformed later in life, maybe have transformed their health, have transformed their mindset, have transformed their purpose. Their proof becomes your permission. You are not the exception. You are the process. So if you don't have belief that you can do it, that means you're judging maybe your history. You're taking your history and you're foreshadowing your future. You know how easy it is to change course right now. I just explained it, right? If you used to play tennis, if you used to do yoga, if you used to be a part of a group that bring you fulfillment, and somehow you got off track, you got this portal here. Go look up how to reconnect. Go look up and guess what? You don't need a license to start where you're at. It's okay. Just start, right? So borrow the belief of others until your belief in yourself catches up. And if you can't find a story that sparks, belief in you, then borrow my belief in you. You're still living, so you're still capable of transformation, period. See it every single day. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I see it, because that's hope right there. Watching people transform their lives is awesome. Recommit to identity, not to outcomes. So don't ask, how fast am I getting there? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Like when we were kids, are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, stop asking that. Ask, who am I becoming by doing this? So like if you let go of the tennis, if you let go of the yoga, and it's been years and you're going to return to something, and it could be anything, right? It can be, getting out more socially. It could be anything. You could apply this. It could be a new job. It could be anything. As soon as you pick up the phone, take action, ask yourself, like, who am I becoming? I'm now becoming somebody who takes risks, who is betting on myself, who is capable of doing things and not having to be perfect at them. Have not prejudging. I'm a person that doesn't prejudge myself. Like all this because you took that one action to get back on track. Everything changes. Everything changes. And so that's how easy it can be to get back on track. And the beautiful thing about that is once you do one thing, it builds momentum. So like, oh, I booked a yoga class. Oh, I booked a tennis class. I'm going to get this water. I'm going to buy some extra fruit. I'm going to watch my food today. That's how it stacks up, everybody. One habit at a time. Actually, no other way. No other way. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. That was kind of a crazy first hour. I hope I made my point clearly enough. When I listened to those video or audio recording from Jeffrey Epstein, gosh, like I feel mad this week, you know, and I feel mad that these people walk around like they're such big shots, you know, such big shots, and they're able to manipulate things. Like, can you imagine like winning the lottery? Jeffrey Epstein winning the lottery? Like, come on. Sounds like a money laundering operation, you know, allegedly. But doesn't it? You know, like how lucky can one guy be? You know, it's just crazy what these people are getting away with. And it just, I really don't want our kids to think that the only way to be successful is to lie, cheat, rob, steal, summon demons, do rituals, witchcraft. I don't want our kids to think that. I want to believe that we still have a merit-based world and that good things happen to people who work hard and choose the right thing. I want to believe that. So we just have to model it. even though it's frustrating and it can be, trigger anger for sure. I feel angry about it. We still have to keep living and keep modeling for our kids and for others to keep up the good fight, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There is reward for doing the right thing. And I hope that we will get back to a merit-based society, because this mafia nation isn't cutting it for me. I hate it. It's very frustrating watching people, manipulate to get more greed, more power, more all the things that they want. Anyway, there is good things happening. This is your culture moment, American culture. As you know, I always say that there's forces out there trying to get you to think that you don't have a culture, that the only culture here in America comes from immigrants and you don't have a right to your culture. And that isn't true, of course. And so another little reminder of just how powerful and awesome and inspired Americans are and have been in the past. I was thinking about roads today and the history of roads in our country. So, take a look at this big dream.
The aftermath of World War I, United States automobile manufacturers quickly switched from supporting the war effort to once again producing cars.
Car ownership quadruples from what it was before the war. Households all over the country have cars now.
90% of roads are still just dirt. In 1916, Congress passes the Federal Aid Highway Act, which offers some of the first national funding for roads. But it's not nearly enough for suitable highways. In Iowa, a local highway commissioner, Thomas McDonald, is thinking bigger.
Thomas McDonald grew up in Iowa.
He witnessed, as a boy working in his father's feed and lumber store, what farmers were experiencing, their crops rotting before they could get to market.
And he saw his road building crusade as the only way to bring a better life to these people.
But McDonald doesn't just want better roads. He's obsessed with roads that connect.
So American, right? I think that right there is a good example of American spirit. We could build some roads. We could build some roads. But what if we built roads that connected to all other roads? That's so... I laugh because, growing up in Canada or whatever, it's just different. And Americans may not always, execute and get it done just perfectly, but I sure do admire the thinking big. And sometimes, it really does work out, because a strictly American thing when it comes to history of highways and roads is the fact that we forged the path to the largest highway system in the world. The history of roads and highways in America, they were indigenous trails transformed, to roadways. America's first roads built, they followed geographically intelligently along ridges and rivers and passes. And the modern highways sit directly on those original paths still. America's road system began with practical land respecting design. Early settlers adopted indigenous trails into wagon roads, postal roads, military supply paths. They got better. They forged new roadways. They were local at first, and it was poorly maintained, as depicted in that little clip I played. And then there was a problem, right? Farmers can't get their stuff places in time. They were losing yield. They were losing their crops and things to sell. So solution, That's super American as well, right? Oh, there's a problem here. Let's fix it. The National Road, the Cumberland Road, a first federal highway, started in 1811. And the National Road was revolutionary. It was funded by the federal government, connected to East Coast to Midwest, enabled westward migration and commerce. And this marked the first major federal role in infrastructure. The Good Roads movement, it was the late 1800s, originally led by bicyclists, actually. This movement pushed for more paved roads, standardized construction of a road, government responsibility for the maintenance of roads, and farmers joined in to move goods to market more easily. Roads became an economic necessity, not so much a luxury. Automobiles changed everything in the early 1900s because as cars spread, the U.S. needed better surfaces, clear routes, long-distance travel corridors, and that led to the Lincoln Highway in 1913, named highways instead of random local roads, and Americans could now travel coast to coast by car. And then, of course, Route 66 and the golden age of highways from the 1920s to the 1940s. Route 66 is the symbol of freedom, of migration, of small town American. Highways fueled motels, diners, roadside businesses, cultural identity, and roads began to shape American culture heavily. They weren't just about transport anymore. And in 1956, signed by Dwight Eisenhower, the interstate highway system was inspired by military needs and national defense, created limited access, high-speed roads, connected cities, states, and economies. And this became the largest public works project in U.S. history. Now, I know we all complain about the roads nowadays, right? Potholes, they're not maintained. Where do our tax dollars go? Corruption. Again, they're too busy, politicians, too busy stacking up their IOUs for when they get out of politics, serving the corporations and serving these high power people. They're not focused on our day-to-day needs. It doesn't function like it used to, way back when politicians got into politics, they still worked regular jobs. It truly was based off of service and civic duty. And now it's transformed into this celebrity. It's like a celebrity with power and security for millions and millions of dollars. It's a pathway to riches is what it is. And I just don't see it getting much better until we demonetize it as much as we possibly can. Earn a living being a politician. What is it? I think they make like $270,000 a year or something to be a politician. I think that's what the pay is. And these people are walking out, with hundreds of millions of dollars over their time. And then they're going into the private sector and becoming apparently like an agent for Epstein's brokerage and earning even more money. And all the while, the whole reason, which was civic duty, man, they sure left that way, way behind. How do we restore that? How do we get back to merit-based society, a culture that is merit-based where, you truly do have to want to serve your community to be in politics. And, I'm all for everybody, making a living, of course. But it's become something else. And it's clear that it has become something else. Even if we leave all the weirdness of the cult out of it, right? It still has become something incredibly corrupt and not based in civic duty, not based in serving your community. Big ideas, that's the nature of America, is big ideas. But it feels like we have less and less big ideas because nobody is focused on big ideas now. They're focused on themselves and how they can navigate. That's one thing I can say about Trump, bringing a lot of excitement back with the 250-year celebration this year, talking about, I saw a story recently that he's going to bring car racing to Washington during the, let's do more of that stuff. We have the capability. Let's bring some pride back and serve the people. I think we all are just aching for that now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Follow us on Spotify. Share it with a friend if you would. Just search us up there, Naturally Inspired Radio. Naturally Inspired Radio. Follow us on Spotify and please share it with just one person. That's actually the best way, to share shows is by recommendation. That's what all the, because I'm like, how can we're always thinking, Jason and I, how can we get more people to connect to our message, to understand that there are real solutions for health, because that's how we're going to change the medical model. So we're always thinking, how can we connect to more people? And when we do that research, it says it's you, actually. So it doesn't necessarily matter how many followers you have, how many likes you're getting. Half that stuff is bogus anyway. It's bought and paid for. No, the real way that things grow organically is through you sharing the show, through you making a recommendation to a friend or a family. So that's why your recommendations, your referrals mean so much to me. And I love hearing that when I do an assessment and somebody says, my sister sent me your show, or my mom sent me your show, or my brother sent me your show, or what have you. That's the best compliment I can get. So we're so grateful that you do that. Follow us on Spotify. And like I said, share, just search us up, naturallyinspiredradio.com. I knew this topic was going to be coming back. It was, so much in the news all the time, and health totally takes a back seat. I get it. It's not as, sexy as all the controversy and chaos that goes on in politics and all of that. So I understand health takes a back seat, but really it should be the priority, right? Because if we're not feeling good, everything else doesn't matter. So we have to keep our eyes on what's going on in the health realm. So I want to play this video for you. This is Bobby Kennedy, Dr. Oz, and I think Trump too. Take a listen.
Research has revealed that folate deficiency in a child's brain can lead to autism. We have also identified an exciting therapy that may benefit large numbers of children who suffer from autism. Peer-reviewed literature has documented that up to 60% of folate-deficient children with ASD can have improved verbal communications if given Leucovorin. I have instructed NIH, FDA, and CMS to help doctors treat children appropriately. Jay will help tell that story.
So I want to bring this topic up again because it's been mentioned in the past and I don't want anybody to forget about it. So leucovorin is a folonic acid. It's an active form of folate. It's different from folic acid, that's synthetic, and it's different from methylfolate as well. It's prescription medication, and historically it was used in cancer care and folate deficiency states for people. And so it's being studied in autism, and it's been studied over the last 15 years, and it suggests a subset of autistic children may have impaired folate transport into the brain. So there's some key mechanisms. Some children have folate receptors alpha autoantibodies, FRAA, and these antibodies block folate from crossing the blood-brain barrier. Leucovorin can bypass this blockage via alternate transport pathways. This condition is sometimes referred to as cerebral folate deficiency. So what symptoms it may help in some children? Again, it's not a catch-all fix for everybody, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Clinical trials and case studies show possible improvement in expressive and receptive language, verbal communication, attention and engagement, social interaction. It does not treat autism globally because benefits still appear selective and not universal. So research shows, though, that randomized controlled trials have shown moderate language improvement in children with autism, and positive folate receptor antibodies. Effects are supportive, not necessarily curative. So here are some possible side effects too. So you guys always be aware of side effects. It can increase energy. It can cause hyperactivity, irritability. There can be sleep disturbances, headaches, GI upsets, although less common. And these often relate to the dose, of course, and the speed of dose that it's increased at. And of course, individual, factors that come in. Everybody's an individual, right? So very interesting stuff. I think that this is where I talk about the spectrum of autism. This is what we have to be so careful, really, because we need to get help for these children, right? For these people that are affected, these families that are affected by autism. And we've really, in my opinion, done a huge disservice by broadening the diagnosis of autism, where, social quirkiness can now fall under the label of autism. This is a problem because when we're looking for treatment, when we're looking for cause, we have this wide spectrum now. And it's really important to try to get to root cause. And so, we can have somebody who is biologically injured, biological injury that is labeled with autism. And then we can have these kind of other, variables that get somebody a diagnosis, including self-diagnosis. That's really a thing now. And that's quite upsetting, to just have somebody who, struggles with attention because, who doesn't struggle with attention these days? Because we have these little attention suckers, the portal, that are reconditioning our neural pathways for more input, faster. And that's creating dysfunction. That's totally different than, biological injury. So we have this, autism spectrum disorder, and it's going to be really tough because what works for somebody who might have this, mechanism of injury through folate receptors has the same diagnosis as somebody who, doesn't. And then, of course, the medication doesn't work for one or the other. And then often it's like, oh, it's disregarded. It doesn't work. So we have to be really careful moving forward. And I just want to say this message of hope too. Like, if this medication doesn't work for your child, it doesn't mean that something else won't. But we're going to keep having the conversation. And that's the exciting part about where we are today with this administration, with Bobby Kennedy in the position that he is in, is that we finally get to have the conversation. We finally get to have the conversation. And it's like we almost have to, train for the conversation, train for the outcomes of this conversation, because it's not like, there's going to be one instant fix. There's a lot of variables going in here. It in my opinion, vaccines are a huge part of it, but they're not all of it. There's deficiency in our food supply. There is, has been a huge switch culturally in the time that we spend on screens. There's a lot of factors that can go into this type of outcome. And so we have to be very patient and understand, okay, let's look at all the different possible variables. And we can't paint everybody with the same brush. That's what they want to do. That's what they want. That is what science is so, that's what they always do. They're constantly trying to, shove everything under one umbrella so they can come up with one solution and sell it to everybody. And that's not how the human body works. That's not how the human body works. You've got to curate health. And there are many variables that go into that. Toxicity is one of them. Injury, chemical injury, biological injury is another one. Environment, like our environment shapes behavior. So if we are not able to, I saw this during COVID where there were kids that were, the shy kid. There's always a shy kid in every class. You grew up with them, right? Well, imagine if those shy kids that we grew up with were permitted to wear a mask and kind of be silent and quiet. And it was actually good that they were that way, isolated because of COVID. Well, that behavior to be shy, to be isolated, to be quiet was being reinforced with a reason. Wear a mask. Shh. Stay at home. Use the screen. Growth is uncomfortable. And that's the parent's job, right? We sometimes have to push our kids. When you're uncomfortable, that's good. It means you're growing, but you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Otherwise, they're never gonna grow to be who they are meant to be. They're never gonna have the skill set of expressing themselves if we don't push our kids. There's been a lot of things that have kept us, like even myself, I know my kids were teenagers when COVID hit, and I had every intention of, pushing my kids out to get jobs as young teens. I had a job, I was babysitting at like 10. This is the 80s, right? I mean, we all did that, I think. And then by the time I was 12, I was making beds in a hotel with my aunt. So I had a job very young, and I had every intention of pushing my kids out to get jobs, 15, 16. And that didn't happen because of COVID, because you needed to be vaccinated to work at these places. You needed to wear a mask. You needed to deal with lunatics. And that's not a good environment to put a kid in their first job. So I waited. So it changed. It changed when my daughter finally went out to get her first job. It was a stretch. It was like she had to work to build herself up. She did fantastic. I'm so proud of her. She did it all by herself. But it should have happened sooner. In my opinion, it should have happened sooner. That's how our environment, though, can have an impact on our behavior. And we must consider that when it comes to diagnosis. Autism, ADHD, like all the diagnosis. We have to consider all of the variables. Stay tuned. Got more stories coming up for you. You're not going to want to miss it.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations? much of it being imported or processed with additives. Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
I love my collagen. You're going to pry it out of my hands. You're not ever taking it away from me. I love this collagen. It's low molecular weight. The Liquid Beauty Collagen is available at naturallyinspiredstore.com. There's a different formula kind of to meet your needs. I myself prefer the pure. It doesn't have any sugar in it. It's specifically designed for like high protein diets, keto diets. I just like the flavor, honestly. It's very light citrus flavor in the pure. So that's why I take it. Some of the other formulas like Life, they have resveratrol in it. So that's really nice as well. People love the Life. That's probably the most popular formula is the Life collagen. We've had the Immune collagen that of course has elderberry in it. And then the Beauty contains a little bit of biotin as well as the resveratrol. So a few different little flavors depending on what you're trying to target. If your target is your skin, your hair, your nails, then Beauty is the perfect formula for you. So you can order it at naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions about collagen, just text me 720-303-8868. Don't forget, when you become a customer of Naturally Inspired, that gets you into our community. You get to be part of a community. You get 15% off of all retail pricing in our partnered product line forever, for life. You don't have to renew it. It's not like a Costco membership that you have to renew every year. Once you make your first purchase of over $50, you get to shop on that website 15% off for the rest of your life. We have a money-back guarantee on all our products, a lifetime guarantee on all of the products. So that's awesome. There's really no risk. So order today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, this next one, I kind of find exciting because I'm weird. But anyway, medically contested diseases. Do you know that there are diseases out there that are contested by medicine because a lot of medical doctors, if they don't have the concrete proof, it didn't get taught in the textbook, well, they don't believe it. I think we could probably put perimenopause and menopause under this because it would seem like a lot of doctors don't really, think that that's as life-changing as it is for some people, Anyway, it's not one of the contested diseases, menopause. It's a marker in life. That's what menopause is. But there are some contested diseases. And today, I wanted to bring your attention first to the fact that there are contested diseases. And this one in particular called Morgellons. Take a look.
Not necessarily a situation where you're only seeing the fibers coming from the sores. You can have the fibers come from any old place in your body. I mean, I remember having people talk about like seeing them in their eyes, like, feeling like they have something in their eye, and then they look in the mirror and they see that there's like something that looks like one of these fibers in there.
And I mean, I had some people talk about how I had one person who said they were actually diagnosed by their dentist.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were these filaments coming out from in between their teeth on their gums. Mm-hmm. That's not normal. Mm-hmm. I had another person who said that her gynecologist found fibers coming out during a pelvic exam. Wow. And I had two people who said that their gastroenterologist found them on colonoscopy. So these are internal,
Right.
And in one case, the gastroenterologist was like, I've never seen it.
This is heartbreaking. So Morgellons, I'll tell you, is real. And the medical community contests it. It's probably one of the most contested conditions in medicine. This is presented all over the place. If you Google it online, you may find some videos like this. But the mainstream narrative is that this condition is psychological. And clearly you can see, it's defined by symptoms. It's not validated disease mechanism. Morgellons is described by patients as involving skin sensations like crawling, stinging, biting. Sometimes they get skin lesions, but the real marker is fibers or filaments reported in and coming out of the skin. It's contested because there is no universal accepted biological mechanism explaining these symptoms. So there's strong overlap with dermatologic and psychiatric diagnosis. Many clinicians classify Morgellons under delusion, chronic neurodermatitis, and some patients show real skin damage, while the interpretation of cause differs sharply between specialties. The fibers are the central of the controversy. Patients report fibers emerging from skin lesions. Most analyzed fibers are textiles, cotton, synthetic from clothing or environment, and no consistent evidence of the fibers biologically that they're biologically produced by the body. The CDC's investigated it. They don't believe in it. Symptoms are real, even if the cause is disputed. The suffering is absolutely real. And treatment approaches are divided. Mainstream approach is dermatologic, antipsychotic medication. Alternative approaches are antimicrobials, detox protocols, anti-parasitic regimens. Some patients improve with psychiatric treatment. I believe it. I believe it. And there's a lot of information on it, if you know anyone that's suffering from this, in correlation to Lyme disease. And of course, Lyme disease was a bioweapon. And if you go down the rabbit hole of that, it'll lead you to Plum Island, basically where they were developing bioweaponry through the use of insects like ticks. And so when I think about the mRNA technology and the COVID shots and the self-assembling, I think there's a lot of people suffering from Morgellons right now. And it's sad because there's not a lot of recognition for it for what it truly is. So if it were me, and of course I don't give medical advice, but I'd be seeking out a practitioner who knows how to detox from bioweapons. That's what I would be looking towards. But the area of contested disease, I want to branch out on this idea as well, because there's actually a lot. And this is the reason why medicine contests these diagnoses is because they cannot agree upon a biomarker for it. And as I've pointed out here before, especially now more than ever, we have this bizarre science system that is actually just based on consensus. They've got to have consensus. They've got to have everybody agree. And when everybody agrees, then they put the rubber stamp on it. That's science. It's like the opposite of what science should be, right? When we find out something new or something new presents, then everybody should be trying to figure out what this is. They should be, coming up with hypotheses to try to prove and disprove. But we don't live in that world anymore. It's kind of gone. with the merit-based world that I've been talking about today too. And so the pay to play comes in here, right? If everybody's in consensus, everybody's on board, well, you get your grants. And, I was watching a bit of a documentary about contested diseases. And, some people will say, oh, well, they just don't know, right? They just don't know. But I think it goes deeper than that. Because most of these higher institutions are dependent on grants. They're dependent on people like Jeffrey Epstein donating to their cause. And if they don't bend a knee and go along with the base foundation of science in their field, then they don't get grants. Their science doesn't get funded. And so they do that. It's kind of like, I think, how we ended up with wasting so many years now of Alzheimer's research, because it was agreed upon consensus that this one paper discovered that Alzheimer's was an amyloid plaque problem. And so based on that one paper, everybody agreed, consensus. And then we got Alzheimer's medications that were completely targeted towards amyloid plaque. Now we know that one study that triggered that whole line of research, because if you were applying for a grant to work on Alzheimer's, you had to acknowledge that as the basis. So anything that went towards, trying to cure amyloid plaque got funded. And anything that didn't believe in the amyloid plaque theory didn't get funding. So it paralyzes research, true, real, truth-seeking research. And I think that's what happens with these contested diseases. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of contested diseases now that people deal with that the true medical model doesn't really acknowledge. Chronic fatigue syndrome, that's one of them, because there's no definitive diagnostic test. It's historically mislabeled as psychological. And there's overlap between depression and autoimmune viral illness. And so it's kind of a catch-all. Oh, chronic fatigue syndrome, It's inflammation. All disease is inflammation. The question has to be, why are you so inflamed? Why are you so inflamed? We got to look at lifestyle. Right? We've got to look at what the body is, what's being put into the body, what you're exposed to, what medications you've been taking or have taken in the past. Like, there's so many questions before we get to a diagnosis. There should be, anyway. Fibromyalgia is contested as well, because there's pain without visible tissue damage. It's diagnosed by symptom patterns, not labs. Lyme disease. Makes you so angry sometimes. And even autism sometimes gets contested. Multiple chemical sensitivity, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, that's hypermobile. Mast cell activation. These are all contested diagnoses in the medical field. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with your health topic.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Want to take a minute to thank you, our members, new members who have recently made a purchase. We're so grateful for you. When you purchase our products, you support the show and our community and the mission behind our community, which is to change the medical model. So thank you to Stacy, Ashley, Tatum, Jacqueline, Houghton, Steve, Wanda, Mark, Jason, Lisa, Anne, Mary, Teresa, Joanna, Sarah, Jenny, and there are more out there. And I want to just recognize you. I'll read some more names tomorrow because I think it's really important that, express my gratitude to you. And thank you for your support, because every time you purchase, you are making a decision outside of the medical model. You're making a decision to live in prevention. And that is the change. That is truly what I'm always talking about with the citizenry shaping culture in our country. And when you put your wellness first and you support the naturally inspired community, you're sending a message. You're sending a message that you're not going to buy from the big box stores anymore. You're not going to settle for subpar products, and you want to be part of a community, and that this is the new model for preventative health moving forward. Prevention in health, I should say, moving forward. So today, for our health topic, I want to talk about mineral deficiency. This seems to come up quite a bit. And just so you know, we have a great deal actually on our minerals right now. They're buy one, get one free. And you can get to them by going to Naturally Inspired Store and clicking on the deals on the tab that says our specials. All our specials are on our monthly flip book at naturallyinspiredstore.com. And so these minerals are in there. So here are 7 symptoms your body may be low in minerals. Okay. Number 1, muscle cramps, spasms, twitching. So twitching, especially in the quad muscles, at the eye. Do you ever get the eye twitching? That's all linked to low magnesium, potassium, calcium, and sodium, especially if you are high stress, if you are sweating, and, if you have an ultra-processed diet or have had an ultra-processed diet in the past, some medications, they lead to the muscle cramps, spasms, and twitching. So you've got to pour back into yourself, and minerals are a great way to do that. If you have persistent fatigue, and I don't mean just tired where you can pinpoint it, like you're not sleeping well. I mean just like you wake up and you're just not rested. It's just persistent fatigue and low energy as well. Minerals like magnesium, iodine, copper, these are essential for oxygen delivery and essential for thyroid function and mitochondrial energy. So it may be time to add a bit more. If you are doing all the things, you're eating high protein, you feel like you're working out and, it's just not quite coming together for you, then this could be something that you need to look at is mineral deficiency. Hair thinning and hair loss. This can signal low iron, low zinc, low selenium, low iodine, particularly common in women under stress or post-illness. Okay. Also, some medications definitely lead to mineral deficiency, and that leads to thinning hair. Even hair falling out, like things like NSAIDs, that leads to hair loss. So, check and there's a great, website, drugs.com. You can plug in your medications and see how they're impacting you. Brittle nails or white spots on your nails, often associated with, again, zinc, calcium, or silica deficiency. Nails reflect long-term mineral status. Poor sleep or anxiety. Oh my goodness. Low magnesium, right? We really... everybody should be taking magnesium, in my opinion. It's just the nature of the way we live in this modern world. Everybody should be on magnesium because it's such a high, fast-paced, multiple input, constant input society that we live in. So low magnesium can really be a problem with anxiety. So make sure you are taking precautions, and that can be a sign. Also, lithium trace lithium can be make an impact on your nervous system regulation, relaxation, and your sleep quality. Frequent infections or slow wound healing. Minerals like zinc, selenium, and iron are critical for immune response and tissue repair. Sugar cravings or blood sugar swings. That means possibly low chromium, low magnesium, low zinc, and this can impair insulin signaling and glucose regulation. And so you're constantly having those sugar cravings. Big picture is this: mineral deficiencies are common because of soil mineral depletion, because of our highly processed foods. Chronic stress, because when we're under chronic stress, we burn through minerals. If you're a sweater, like a sweater, you sweat a lot, not like sweater. I'm a sweater. I'm definitely a sweater. Being a runner as many years as I have, if I just start moving around a little bit, I'll start sweating. That's for sure. That's a sign that you'd be low in minerals if you are someone who sweats a lot. Caffeine also depletes minerals. So you see what I'm saying here? We got a formula here in America, right? Because we love our coffee. And caffeine is very mineral depleting. Also, alcohol depletes minerals and also wreaks havoc on gut health as well, and disrupts sleep. We do not get the full detox when we have consumed alcohol when we're sleeping. So our body goes through an entire detox system when we fall asleep, even a glymphatic detox process, which is the detox of the brain. And what happens when we drink alcohol is it actually disrupts that process. So, when you wake up sometimes the day after drinking and you think, man, I feel terrible. I don't even really think I drank that much, but I feel terrible. It's not so much about the alcohol per se. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's about the lack of detox that you've been able to you weren't able to cycle through because alcohol disrupts that cycle. So it's not necessarily the alcohol itself that's making you feel crappy. It's actually the lack of detox and the lack of sleep. And this is why, I don't know if you've ever, stayed up late and then felt like you had to be snacky the next day, or if you're hungover from drinking too much, you wake up the next day and you feel like snacky. You just can't get quite the right amount of food in you to feel satiated. That's because it's disrupted that detox process, and it's disrupted those hunger and satiety hormones as well. So it really does, wreak havoc on your overall system. Now, I think if you're going to partake in alcohol, keep it to one day. Don't. There's a lot of people who drink, a little bit every night. Like say they have wine every night. You're better off just keeping it on one day of the week, so your body can, if you're going to do it Friday night, do it Friday night, suffer the consequences through waking up maybe and not going through a full detox process. And then don't do it again the next day, and wait and make sure you're giving your body time to work through that. Otherwise, you're just going to feel run down and you're missing out on that detox process, and it's really disruptive to your overall health. So I know, the dangers of alcohol, everybody knows it and blah, 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 but I like red wine, I like wine. And, but if I'm going to, I don't, once a week tops, at this point in my life, once a week tops, have one glass of wine or what have you, because it's just, you pay for it. And I know it's not good for our health. So I know I hate to be a bummer and a drag, but you do pay you do pay for that, and you pay in your sleep, and you pay with your hormones. And then, it can just become taxing to the overall system. So take advantage. We have buy one, get one liquid minerals available right now on the flip book. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and take advantage of those. I like stocking up on things like this. I had a question the other day about expiry dates. And most vitamins, and you have to do your own research, but most vitamins are good, 18 months, 2 years later beyond the expiry date. And, that's not, I'm not giving you guidance here. I'm just telling you what you can find online. Okay. Expiry dates are necessary for regulation. You have to have an expiry date on it. But the truth of the matter is these things lose potency. They don't sit around and get more potent, right? So at the very worst, you're getting less potency in your vitamins when they expire. Yeah, get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people will, get rid of things or what have you. And of course, if it's been opened, that's a different ball of wax there, right? If it's been opened, if it needs to be refrigerated, all that stuff. But for the most part, you're looking at, 18 months, upwards of 2 years. Like I said, it doesn't really lose potency, right? Or sorry, it doesn't really go bad. It just loses potency over time. And you're talking like a long time. Anyway, I hope that clears that up. So anyways, I like to stock up on these things because especially if, there's something going around, one of my kids is, outings or whatever, they're like, come home and, oh, everybody's sick. I'm like, hey, you need to take your minerals. You need to take this, take that. I have a whole wellness cabinet and I love to keep that thing stocked. So take advantage of the buy one, get one deals that are still on. We have over 25 products that are buy one, get one still. But the liquid minerals are my favorite. Once you open them, you should refrigerate them. But when they're sealed, they really do last a long time. So minerals, just take an audit on your own body. How's your hair doing? How's your nails doing? How do you have any of these symptoms? The twitching is a big one. So eye twitches in the quadricep, leg cramps at night. These are all communication coming from your body, and they should be responded to. Like I always say, right? The body always whispers before it screams. And these are the little whispers that we've kind of been trained to ignore. We've been trained to ignore these things. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. But living in prevention means that you are tuned into your body and you do respond to its communication. So I hope that helps. Mineral deficiency today, it's a real thing. It's actually very prevalent. Get yourself some minerals today. Stock up on our buy one, get one products over at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Any questions at all, I'm here for it, you guys. 720-303-8868. See you tomorrow.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.